Thank you guys for watching the Animal One Guys YouTube channel. If you like my content, leave a comment down below. Ask me questions, let me know what you liked about it. And hey, click on the little like button. But please, if you want, go ahead and subscribe, because it helps my channel out. That way you can stay up to date with all my videos. And if you want, click on the bell icon to get notified. Right? Right? Huh? 1 out of 2. Not bad. Hey everybody, we are back for another video. Reptile Rescue Family. What are we doing today? Because we have a lot going on here today. We have this nail diagram back up. We have a ton of different nail typing tools. And just like the title of the video says, we're going to do some bearded dragon nails. We're going to show you how to cut them, how to take care of them, how to maintain them. That's the biggest thing, maintain them. We're going to just go a little bit more in depth about the anatomy of the nail. Just a little bit of detail, not enough to do anyone any harm. We're going to go over some different type tools that I have laid out and why you want to use what in what type of instance. So I'm going to hit bearded dragons, I hit everyone, but the biggest thing we're going to start is the nail. So I've already talked about why this video, this picture that floats around is wrong, why you shouldn't just trim here, why you should be trimming here, and why you want to get as close to this nail bed as possible, right? Okay, this nail bed, it's got blood vessels going through it, and this is what grows the nail, okay? The problem is, with most reptiles, and it's very weird, they tell you, basically, they say that be safe than sorry. They tell you to cut way up here, when really you should be cutting as far back as possible without hitting the nail bed, okay? I've gone over that. I'm not going to shoot a dead horse. The problem, though, is whenever you cut here or here, when you get close to the nail bed, you have to then wait for this nail to grow longer than it should be, longer than it's going to be comfortable to get it far enough away from the nail bed to be able to cut it, especially if you're waiting to cut it here. But even if you cut it here, then you've got to wait for it to grow out, then you got to cut it there again. And that's a problem. Now, people will say, why don't the bearded dragons and other lizards experience this in the wild? It's much like if you walk your dog on the pavement outside. In the wild, these bearded dragons are constantly on the move over rocky terrains, climbing up trees, bark, fences, bushes, right? They climb in the wild, guys. You'll see them on top of stuff. It's real fascinating. So they're grinding down their nails. So their nails are always staying close to the nail bed. In fact, sometimes in the wild, they actually grind down into the nail bed. It's pretty rare, but it has been found. But the nice thing about the nail bed is, again, as you're getting closer to it, the nail bed is retreating. So that's what's nice. So it can keep the nail bed safe, keep the nail healthy, and keep it at a correct length, which is most of the foot on the ground, not resting on the curve of the nails. That curves the nails, it deforms the nail bed. How do we achieve that then? How do we achieve that with these types of tools? Right, this is the big question, right? These are a variety of trimmers. This is your local nail clipper. You guys know what this is about. It's got a little grinder piece here. This is good. This is good to use to start. You got to be careful about the opening. And with normal nail trimmers, you know, these guys they're rounded, right? They're kind of concave in, so sometimes you don't get a straight cut. Well, then you can get some cuticle cutters. They're going to have a straight cut, and that will give you a cut nice and straight. Sometimes you can get a nail clipper that opens unlimitedly. This is kind of nice to help you get in there and squeeze, and again, it'll be a nice little straight cut, okay? You see these for reptiles all the time, these big white handles. Sometimes they're not white, you big handles, but again, just your simple cutter. This was one from a rescue, Cyrus. Actually, I think this was Johnny Cage's original name. These are common, 2 different sizes, because if you've got big monitors, these work for you as well. People like them because the blades are on, 360. The larger ones typically have a guard to not get into the vein, so the toe can only get so deep in there, and then you just cut. I use these to cut my rabbit. These are cat little trimmers. You get in and boom, boom. This is what most people recommend for bearded dragons. Again, it tries to prevent nail splitting. They're good for the first cut, and I'm going to get into that. Normally, it's hard to cut bearded dragon nails when they're small. You do have to let them grow out. The nail is so small that you're going to use something to cut. Or let's say an adult I get that's a rescue. Very overgrown nails. You're going to want to take this and you're going to want to do as good of a cut as you can. Now, you've made your cut, but now we've created something that's not normal. We've created a flat piece of the nail. Here to here or here to here, no matter how you cut it, which angle you cut it at, we've created a sharp, flat edge. That's not what they use. Yes, your dragon may grind that down and may wear it down, but it's still not normal. And you think about it, people say, oh, well, I'm fine. I have a rock area in my enclosure. That's fine, but your bearded dragon's not walking constantly for hours over that rock area. It may pass over it to get to point A to point B, but it's not like in the wild where they're really adventuring sometimes for long periods of times. In rolls the pet Dremel. This is the best thing. I use this for anything that is bearded dragon or larger in size. When you get a pet Dremel, I'm going to have a link for this, guys, in the description, and I'm going to tell you why I really like this one. But the big details, there's some things we're going to have here and why it works. This one has a variable speed motor, so it doesn't just have the on and off or, level 1 or level 2. You turn it on, and it spins, and then the more you spin this, the faster the motor goes. So depending on who you're working with, you can adjust the speed. It has a charger. Okay, so the battery's built in. It has a guard on it. Now you can take this guard off, but the nice thing about this guard is it does protect the diamond Dremel up here. But the good part is they show the different size openings. So depending on if you're doing a dog or a cat, you've got a smaller opening. Well, guess whose nails are basically equivalent to cats in terms of thickness and everything? Bearded dragons. So that led me to believe that this is a good Dremel for bearded dragons. The other thing, which is really nice, and it has to do with looking for the nail bed, is this particular model has 2 LED lights. You can see a diode there. There's a diode there. They shine straight out. So when you are cutting something and the nail is underneath, you can really see where the nail bed is. It helps significantly. I've recommended it before. Hey guys, use a flashlight. Well, now that we're going to use this Dremel, after we've gotten the nail to this length, and then you will continuously use the Dremel for maintenance. You don't have to wait for the nail to grow out. So I recommend cutting here when cutting, but if you're Dremeling, you have the nice advantage because if you see, there's a lot of nail above and kind of below the nail bed. You can now shape the nail. I'm going to go outside, but you can round it like this. And again, I'll come outside just so you can see where the lines are. So now you can really round this nail, something like that, and get very good normal nail texture. It'll be rounded. It will help with grip. It will help with walking. They'll still be able to climb, and you won't have this sharp edge. And you don't have to wait for the nail to keep growing. You're going to be able to keep this maintained. And the nice part is people say, well, my bearded dragon's not going to sit for that long. Yeah, the first time you do it, guys, it's a little bit longer because you don't have this. But then you're just coming in and you're literally just kind of kissing, one nail, and I'll show you, and you're just kissing them down, and that's it. And it's excellent. I use this for my black throats. I use this for my Savannah monitor. I use this for my Tegu, my bearded dragon. It just, the list goes on, right? And it's amazing for that reason. Now that we've discussed it, we've done all the fine details, I'm going to show you this on a bearded dragon. Okay, so I've gone and got Archimedes, and this is a perfect example for this, in my opinion. So we have the example of the nail down there, and if we really zoom in on her nails, again, she's resting mostly on her foot. Some of her fingers are just kind of barely curved, very normal, and she's sitting on the nails. Now, if we notice, hey, baby, there is no sharp tips on these nails, but there is, you can see how far back the nail bed is, right? You guys see that? It's right about at the top, but then you can see the white, and then you can see that tip of that nail is just forming. These nails are much too short to cut really with any type of clipper. I would be very hesitant to even cut these with a straight cut like the cuticle clipper. But these nails are longer than they should be. There's our problem. So we've already hit longer than they should be, but we can't cut them with any type of cutter. We have to let them grow extremely long. In comes our friend, Mr. Pet Dremel. We're going to turn it on first, and we'll be using, guys, the cat spot. You can either use the side or the top. And we're going to come in there, and we're just going to all the nails right down. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. The motor's going to get up to speed. I'm going to pick up her nail. And I like to isolate just the finger that I'm working on, like this. So I hold that finger, and I bring it in. Yep. And then I want to show you that nail. Now she's going to walk away a little bit, but I want to show you this nail that I just did. And you saw how quick it was, because that's all that needed to be done. Come here. Let me see your nail. Come here for a second. She's stuck. Okay. So let's look. There we go. Look at that. That little nub is gone. The nail is much normal. Now there's still some length between it and the nail bed, but that's a good length, but we get rid of that little sharp nub. The one behind it, the nail bed is even further back. So we can use this just to zip, 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 and keep these nails maintained. Never have those sharp tips come up, so you never have to worry about picking her up. And when not filming, it's much faster. So I'm going to do the rest of this hand. I'm going to put this hand here so you can really kind of get a look at it, and then you can see how it looks when it's done. Let me show your whole hand. Hold on, Archimedes. Come here. There we go. See those nails? One nail done, one nail not done. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to pause the video. That nail in the back here is starting to get a really steep angle. Not good. And I'm going to go ahead and touch up these nails, and then you're going to see how they look. Okay. Okay, I've gone ahead and I've done this whole hand. And I'll tell you guys, the easiest way for me is I just lay the bearded dragon on my lap, and then I boom, 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 boom. It's more comfortable for them. They get it done. But look at this hand now. Look at the difference here of the nails. Those tips are gone. We can touch this one up just a touch to get it to sit a little bit better. But the rest of them are rounded. Move your hand. And they're sitting so much better, much, much more natural. And it's normally not a one and done. Sometimes you need to make little corrections. You should put the foot back down. You should see how the foot rests. You can see the fingers are not arched nearly as much as they were. Let's compare it to the back foot real quick. That's not done. See how they're starting to sit up on those points there? Not good. And in fact, those are so high that this back nail is not even touching the ground. Not good. But normally this would have to get much worse before you would correct it. So I'm just going to Dremel the rest of her nails. But you can't go wrong with the Dremel like that. You get a really, really good foot. Really good foot like we see right there. That's what we get with the Dremel. All right, guys. Hope you liked this video. Hope it was informative. Showed you guys a couple things. Helped you guys out. You know, did what needed to be done. Otherwise, look at this mess we got. Take care, everybody. Thank you guys for supporting my reptile rescue family.